Imagine a country where one decision in its capital can shake stock markets across the planet. A country where its currency is used in banks from Tokyo to London to Nairobi. A country that spends more money on its military than the next several countries combined. A country whose companies build the phones in your pocket, the movies you watch, the apps you use, and even the satellites floating above Earth. That country is the United States of America. Whether people admire it or criticize it, one thing is hard to deny. The United States has an enormous influence on the modern world. When America changes policies, other countries pay attention. When its economy grows or slows down, markets across the globe react. And when the United States takes a position on global issues, it often shapes international conversations. But how did one country become this powerful? The United States is not the oldest civilization on Earth. Countries like China, Egypt, and India have histories that stretch back thousands of years. Compared to them, the United States is actually quite young. The country officially became independent in 1776, which means it is less than 250 years old. In the long timeline of human history, that's practically yesterday. Yet in those 2.5 centuries, the United States managed to grow into one of the most influential nations in the world. Part of the reason is size and geography. The United States occupies a huge piece of land between two massive oceans, the Atlantic and the Pacific. This location provided natural protection from many conflicts that affected Europe and Asia for centuries. At the same time, the land itself is rich in natural resources. The country has vast farmland, capable of producing enormous amounts of food. It has major rivers that helped transportation and trade. It has large reserves of oil, natural gas, coal, and minerals that helped power industries. All of these advantages allowed the young nation to grow quickly. But natural resources alone do not explain everything. Many countries have resources but never become global superpowers. Another key reason is innovation and entrepreneurship. Throughout its history, the United States became a place where people tried new ideas, started businesses, and developed technologies. Inventors created products that changed everyday life, from electricity and airplanes to computers and the internet. American universities and research centers also became some of the most influential in the world, attracting scientists, engineers, and thinkers from many different countries. Over time, this environment helped produce some of the largest and most powerful companies ever created. Today, companies like Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Tesla shape global technology and digital life. But economic influence is only one part of the story. Another reason the United States holds such global influence is its military strength and international alliances, which have played major roles in global politics for decades. And that's where the next part of the story begins. Because America's power is not just about money or technology. It's also about hard power, the ability to project strength across the world. One of the biggest reasons the United States has so much influence in the world is simple: money. The United States economy is one of the largest on Earth. When American businesses grow, they affect supply chains, jobs, and investments across the globe. And when the United States economy struggles, many other economies feel the impact almost immediately. But the real secret of America's financial power is something most people see every day: the United States dollar. The dollar is not just America's currency. It has become the world's main currency for trade and finance. Countries often use dollars when buying oil, making international deals, or storing money in their central banks. Even in places far from the United States, businesses sometimes prefer to trade using dollars because it is considered stable and widely accepted. Think of it like the global language of money. Just as English is widely used for international communication, the dollar is often used for international transactions. This gives the United States a powerful advantage. When the American economy changes interest rates, prints money, or introduces financial rules, those decisions can ripple across global markets. Another reason for America's economic strength is its massive companies. Some of the most influential corporations in the world are based in the United States. Technology giants like Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon shape how billions of people communicate, shop, work, and learn. Social media platforms, smartphones, cloud computing, and artificial intelligence tools are often developed by companies headquartered in the United States. And these companies are not just businesses. They are ecosystems that influence entire industries. For example, when a new smartphone is released by an American company, its parts might come from factories in several different countries. Designers, software engineers, suppliers, and shipping companies around the world become part of that product's journey. This means American companies often sit at the center of global supply chains. The United States is also a giant consumer market. With hundreds of millions of consumers and high purchasing power, American buyers represent one of the most valuable markets for companies around the world. Businesses in Europe, Asia, and Latin America often design products specifically to sell in the United States. In other words, many countries don't just trade with America, they depend on access to its market. Another key part of this economic power comes from innovation and research. American universities and research centers lead many areas of science and technology. Fields such as artificial intelligence, aerospace engineering, biotechnology, and advanced computing have seen huge breakthroughs in United States laboratories. This constant flow of innovation keeps the American economy evolving and competitive. But money and business power alone do not explain everything. There's another side to America's global influence, one that involves aircraft carriers, international alliances, and military technology that can operate almost anywhere on Earth. And that is where America's military power enters the story. Money gives a country influence, but there is another kind of power that has shaped world politics for centuries: military strength. The United States has one of the most powerful and advanced militaries in the world. In fact, it spends more on defense than any other country. That spending supports a massive system of soldiers, ships, aircraft, satellites, and technology designed to protect the country and its allies. One of the reasons the United States military is so influential is its global presence. Unlike many countries that mostly focus on defending their own borders, the United States has military bases and operations in different parts of the world. American forces work with allies in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. These bases allow the United States to respond quickly to conflicts, disasters, or international crises. Another major advantage is the United States Navy. The United States operates large aircraft carriers, which are basically floating military air bases. Each carrier can launch fighter jets, surveillance planes, and other aircraft from the middle of the ocean. These ships allow the United States to project military power far from its own shores. If you imagine global power as a chessboard, aircraft carriers are like pieces that can move almost anywhere. But military strength is not only about equipment, it is also about alliances. The United States has built partnerships with many countries around the world. One of the most important alliances is NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. NATO includes many European countries, along with the United States and Canada. The idea behind NATO is simple. If one member is attacked, the others help defend it. These alliances make the United States part of a much larger security network. The United States also maintains strong military partnerships in Asia with countries such as Japan and South Korea. These relationships help maintain stability in regions where tensions sometimes rise. Technology is another important part of American military power. The United States invests heavily in advanced systems such as stealth aircraft, cyber defense, satellite networks, and artificial intelligence used in defense planning. These technologies allow the military to operate with a high level of precision and coordination. But military strength is not only used for war. American forces are also involved in humanitarian missions, disaster response, and international peacekeeping efforts. When earthquakes, hurricanes, or other disasters strike, United States military equipment and logistics sometimes help deliver aid quickly. Of course, America's military role in the world is also debated. Some people believe the United States plays an important role in maintaining global stability. Others argue that its military presence abroad can create tensions or conflicts. These debates have been part of American politics and international relations for decades. Still, when you combine economic strength with global military reach, you begin to see why the United States holds such a powerful position in world affairs. But there is one more kind of influence that might be even more surprising. It doesn't come from money or weapons. It comes from culture, ideas, and global influence, the ability to shape how people think, communicate, and imagine the future. And that may be one of America's most powerful tools of all. Money and military power are important, but there is another kind of power that is harder to measure. It's called influence. And in many ways, the United States has more cultural influence than any country in modern history. Think about movies for a moment. Many of the biggest films watched around the world come from Hollywood. From superhero movies to famous TV series, American entertainment reaches audiences in almost every country. People in different cultures watch the same stories, learn the same characters, and sometimes even start using English phrases they heard in those shows. Music works the same way. American artists have shaped global music for decades. Genres like jazz, rock, hip-hop, and pop started or grew strongly in the United States and then spread worldwide. Today, music from the United States can be heard in clubs in Europe, cars in Asia, and festivals in Africa. Then there is the influence of technology and the internet. Many of the platforms people use every day were created by American companies. Social media, search engines, smartphones, and streaming services have changed how people communicate and get information. When billions of people use products built by companies in one country, that country naturally gains influence. Education also plays a role. Many of the world's top universities are located in the United States. Students from all over the world travel there to study science, technology, medicine, and business. Some return to their home countries with new skills, while others stay and help build new companies. Over time, this exchange of knowledge spreads American ideas and innovations across the globe. But power always comes with controversy and debate. Some people see the United States as a defender of democracy and international cooperation. Others criticize its foreign policy decisions or its involvement in conflicts around the world. Within the United States itself, there are also ongoing debates about economic inequality, political divisions, and the country's role in global affairs. Like any large and influential nation, the United States faces challenges and disagreements about how it should use its power. Despite these debates, one thing remains clear. The United States still plays a major role in shaping global events. Its economy affects international markets. Its military alliances influence global security. Its technology companies shape the digital world. And its culture reaches billions of people every day. But the future is not guaranteed. Other countries are growing economically and technologically. Nations like China, India, and others are expanding their influence. The global balance of power is always changing. So the real question may not be whether the United States is powerful today, because it clearly is. The real question is how that power will evolve in the future, and how the United States will adapt in a world where many countries are rising and competing for influence. History shows that power is never permanent. It changes, shifts, and sometimes surprises everyone. But for now, the United States remains one of the most influential nations on earth, a country whose decisions, ideas, and actions can still shape events far beyond its own borders. Eventually, the world caught up. All right, if you made it through this shadowing session today, that already says something about your discipline. This repetition and consistency combination might look boring on paper, but it is one of the most powerful ways to build fluent, natural English. Keep showing up like this, and your brain will slowly adapt. Trust the process. If this helped even a little, consider liking the video or subscribing. It lets me know these sessions are actually making a difference. We'll catch up again soon. Take care till then.